One change begins within. Most of the changes we notice in life don't start in the outside world. They begin quietly, inside us. Other times, it shows up as a sense that something isn't fitting the way it used to. These moments are easy to dismiss as stress or simple mood shifts, but in truth, they are signals of growth. When we experience internal change, it rarely arrives with clarity right away. Instead, it often feels uncertain. We may question our decisions, notice that certain habits no longer feel natural, or sense that familiar routines don't bring the same comfort they once did. This isn't failure. It's the process of outgrowing an old version of ourselves. Think about how plants grow. Before a new leaf appears, energy quietly builds beneath the surface. In the same way, inner change often happens before we see any external results. This stage can be challenging because the mind wants certainty. But genuine transformation takes patience. What helps is paying attention to these small signals without judgment. Instead of rushing to fix them, we can listen. Doing so, we give space for the new direction to reveal itself. Real growth doesn't come from sudden dramatic shifts. It develops gradually as we learn to understand ourselves better. And when that inner foundation becomes stronger, the external changes naturally follow. So, next time you sense something shifting within, see it as the first step of growth. Change begins quietly, and it begins inside you. To letting go creates space in life, we often carry more than we realize. Old habits, past experiences, and outdated beliefs can stay with us long after they've served their purpose. At some point, we begin to notice that these things no longer feel supportive. They may feel heavy or simply unnecessary. This is the natural sign that it's time to let go. Letting go doesn't always mean making a big decision or walking away dramatically. Often it looks like gradually loosening our grip on what no longer feels right. It could be a routine that doesn't fit, a commitment that drains more than it gives, or even a way of thinking that keeps us limited. By allowing these things to fade, we create space for new experiences to enter. This process can feel uncomfortable. At first, the familiar, even if unhelpful, can feel safer than the unknown. But when we release what no longer serves us, we give ourselves the chance to discover what does. Just like clearing a room makes space for fresh air and light, letting go internally opens us to new opportunities. It's not about losing or giving up. It's about choosing to make room for what aligns better with who we are now. The things that truly belong in our lives will stay. The rest will naturally move away. So when you notice certain parts of your life no longer fit, trust that. Letting go is not an ending, it's the beginning of something new, finding its way to you. 3. Trusting the process over control. One of the hardest lessons in life is realizing that not everything can be planned or controlled. We often try to predict outcomes, design step-by-step paths, and hold tightly to how we believe things should unfold. While planning has its value, life has a way of moving in directions we could never fully expect. When change arrives, our first response is often resistance. We want to make things go back to the way they were, or we try to force them into a shape that feels familiar. But real growth doesn't usually happen that way. Instead, it unfolds in stages, often more slowly and quietly than we'd like. Trusting this process means accepting that not every answer will come right away. Trusting doesn't mean being passive. It means showing up, doing what we can in the present, and allowing the rest to develop naturally. For example, when you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. You water it, give it light, and trust that the growth is happening even when you can't see it yet. In the same way, our lives move forward when we balance effort with patience. We take the steps that feel right, but we don't try to control every detail. This balance reduces stress and creates space for possibilities beyond what we could have planned. When we trust the process, we discover that life often leads us exactly where we need to be, even if the path looks different from what we imagined. For transformation is collective. Personal change often feels like a private journey, something that belongs only to us. But when we look more closely, it becomes clear that growth is rarely an isolated event. As we move through our own changes, the people around us are also moving through theirs. These shifts, when viewed together, form part of a larger collective process. Think about how conversations with friends or family have changed over time. You may notice that people are questioning their choices, rethinking old habits, or searching for more meaning in their daily lives. While the details may differ, the underlying theme is similar: a quiet pull toward growth and renewal. This shared experience creates connection. It reminds us that we are not alone in facing uncertainty or transition. When we listen to others' stories, we often find reflections of our own. This recognition helps us feel supported and encourages us to continue moving forward. Communities, like individuals, grow and adapt. As more people make inner changes, letting go of what no longer fits, seeking healthier paths, or learning new ways of living, those choices slowly reshape the culture we share. Over time, the ripple effect of many personal decisions builds into a broader transformation. Understanding this collective process allows us to approach change with more compassion. We begin to see that our growth contributes to something bigger than ourselves, and that others' growth helps us too. Transformation, then, is not just personal, it is a shared journey toward a more connected future. 5. Living in alignment. Living in alignment means allowing your actions, choices, and values to move in the same direction. Often we feel stressed or unsettled when what we do on the outside doesn't match what we believe or feel on the inside. Alignment is about reducing that gap. It doesn't mean life will always be easy or without challenges. Instead, it means that the way you respond to those challenges is consistent with who you truly are. For example, if kindness is important to you, alignment means choosing words and actions that reflect that value. Even in difficult moments when we are out of alignment, we may find ourselves forcing situations, chasing goals that don't feel meaningful, or holding on to habits that no longer fit. This often creates tension or frustration. But when we move back into alignment, life begins to feel more natural. Decisions become clearer, and even the difficulties we face feel more purposeful. Living in alignment also supports relationships and communities. When each person lives authentically, connections become more genuine. There's less pressure to pretend and more space for honesty and respect. The process of alignment is not about perfection. It's about ongoing awareness, regularly checking in with yourself to see whether your choices reflect your values. Small adjustments made consistently create lasting change. Ultimately, alignment allows you to live with greater clarity and peace. It is not about control, but about creating harmony between your inner world and your outer actions.